Massive opportunity exists for New York Jets wide receiver Malachi Corley now that Mike Williams has been traded and Allan Lazard is hurt, and we don't know when the hell he's coming back. Is he going to break out? Plus some interesting comments at the podium. Let's talk about it.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Every.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. Yes, we're back, baby, after a couple days' absence. We returned yesterday, and we are back better than ever. Make sure you guys, as you walk in, like the video and hit subscribe. Also, I will flip the little emoji banner. We are 40 members away from Phil getting his emoji. So if you guys would like to join the Boy Green Coffee Club, you enjoy the show, you can join the Boy Green Coffee Club in the pinned comment currently live here on the show, or you can always do it in the YouTube description down below. Just join the Boy Green Coffee Club here. You can always gift memberships as well. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the money sign, click that final option, gift memberships, and feel free to gift as much as you'd like. So here's the thing. Let's go through a couple of things here. So Malachi Corley has an opportunity. Mike Williams got traded earlier this week. Allan Lazard has kind of this mysterious injury the team's not talking about. So you have Garrett Wilson. Okay, he's pretty good. Devonta Adams. Oh, yeah, he's pretty good. And then who is wide receiver 3? Is it Xavier Gibson? Is it Irv Charles? Is it Malachi Corley? Well, we're about to find out. But so there's no question that Corley has an opportunity. But I'm going to be honest. I have to start the show this way. There's a full article in the YouTube description down below. We all know why some of us have some uneven feelings about Malachi Corley. It was a week ago yesterday that Malachi Corley, on what was supposed to be his first NFL touchdown, carelessly flipped the ball behind him, which was a fumble, which rolled eventually out of the back of the end zone. And instead of the Jets getting a touchdown and a 7-0 lead, it was a 0-0 score, and the Texans got the ball. It was a careless mistake. Now, a lot of people have said, Paul, move on. It was a week ago. But Malachi Corley spoke to the media for the very first time about this situation, and I'm just going to be honest. I'm gonna before you guys even hear it, I'm just going to paint it straight. Malachi Corley's presser pissed me off. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be straight up. It pissed me off. Some of the things he said showed no accountability. It showed no contrition. And this was his first time speaking to the media, and to me, he was very just like, whatever, man. Who cares? I'll let you guys hear it, but Malachi Corley's presser pissed me off. Here are 2 highlight clips from his presser. His presser was about 3 minutes in length, so this is 55 seconds, about a third of the presser. He had more to say than this, but I think this sort of paints a picture here. Here's Malachi Corley when asked about, some of the mistakes that happened. Here you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I just scored 200-plus touchdowns in my career, and never once dropped the ball in the end zone, so there's not too many coaching points to take away from that other than just, hold it another 6 inches,
Casual football fans, that was the first they saw for a lot of people. How do you make that not be the moment that defines you as a player?
Oh, yeah. It's not a defining moment for me because imagine if I broke 3 tackles, juked the guy, and then I dropped the ball 1 yard in front of the end zone. Still, you still did that same play, you know what I mean? But holding the ball 1 more yard is not a coaching point for anything. And if they gave me the ball again, I do the same thing over and over. So yeah.
Was that embarrassing for you at the time?
Oh, no, not at all. You just take things with a grain of salt. You didn't play the game for a long time. You've seen a lot more or less embarrassing things happen on the field. So for me, it was just a learning experience overall. Still extremely excited to run across that end zone line, to be able to jet around the field and do all that type of stuff. So it was fun overall.
It was fun. Guys, and I want to make this clear because I've posted this clip on Twitter and it went viral. And there was a lot of people that agreed with me, that sentiment I just shared before, that presser pissed me off. It seems like the young man didn't learn a damn thing and said there's no coaching points. Like, it doesn't sound like he is like taking it to heart because I think the Jets won and he's like, oh, well, we won, so it doesn't matter. And like, it was a fluke because like, that's what he's saying. When he said, I've scored 200 plus touchdowns, I've never done it before. So like, whatever. Like, it was a critical mistake. And to me, how this young man answered it and saying he's not embarrassed, there was no accountability. There was no remorse for the thing, the goofing around, the laughing, to say, hey, I it was fun. I really enjoy the excitement of still, doing the stupid Jet celebration in the end zone after, scoring, but he didn't score. So all that's nonsense. He said he had a lot of fun messing around with the fans after for the touchdown that wasn't a touchdown. To me, I just don't understand. If it was me, and again, it's not me, obviously. So take that for what you will. It's not. But if it was me, the first thing I would say when I came up to the mic, in every question, it would start off with basically the same gist. There was an unacceptable mistake. I will never do that again. I should have never done it. That was reckless. That was stupid. That was dumb. That's up there. And just take it. Take it. Because Tyrion Lannister once said that use whatever your flaws are as armor, and people can't use it against you. Now, he's still going to catch some heat no matter what happens because of his decision, but just embrace it. Don't try to deflect it away. It is part of your story. I get confidence. And so, like I said, I tweeted out that clip that you just saw, and it went viral. And there was a lot of people that agreed, but there's a lot of people that didn't. It said, Paul, he's showing confidence, and that's what I want to see out of a player. There is a fine line between confidence and not letting it define you, which we just kind of talked about, and being respectful and being, contrite, being willing to say, hey, this mistake happened. I understand the severity of it, the seriousness of it, because it could have cost our team. That's 7 points, man. That's a massive swing. That is a massive swing. That the attitude from it, to me, is what really just rubs me the wrong way. We as fans, we are invested all the way. And when that happened, we're like, oh boy, what else could possibly go wrong for this situation to implode in such a way? Now, the Jets won, which some people are saying, like, Paul, get over it. The Jets won. That's true that they won, but they won in spite of that play. They had to overcome that. The Jets came out after that fumble happened. The Jets were flat. Todd Downing even said it as an offense. That's what happened. Again, this kid's going to get chances. I'm going to root for him because he's a Jet. Of course I am. But I'm just going to say I hated that presser. I hated how there was no remorse, the lackadaisical nature about, admitting to the mistake publicly and things of that nature. The PR part of it is an important piece of the puzzle because that is how fans get interpreted. Sure, we don't know how Corley said it to his teammates or how his teammates responded behind closed doors. We don't know that, obviously. We're out here on the outside. But when you get your first media appearance opportunity, we roasted Zach Wilson for the wind or, no, it wasn't all on me. It was on the defense. All those stupid answers. We roasted Zach Wilson for that. You have to be balanced. You have to be fair. If you're going to roast him for that, which you should have, he said something stupid, then you have to roast Malachi Corley for stupid. It has to be the same thing. So, yeah, long story short, I'm hopeful for the kid to get his opportunity. The Jets wouldn't have traded Mike Williams. They didn't think that Corley or Gibson or anyone else could take advantage of these ops, and I'm excited to see him because we haven't really seen him a lot. So I'm excited for that. But I just listened to that presser, and I just said to myself, like, damn, man, this kid hasn't learned a damn thing. He's just saying, hold it 6 more inches, which technically is true. If he holds it 6 more inches, then it's a touchdown. But he just gives off this vibe that, like, it's not confidence to me. That's one thing. I would love to see confidence of, like, whatever. I'm going to score again. It's going to look awesome. It didn't look to me. Yeah, it is immaturity. That's what Phil called it. Immaturity. He's a young kid. It just, Mr. Bonesy said he did have a little my shit don't stink sort of thing. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that really bothered me. Now, here's the fact of the matter. Malachi's not getting cut. I'm not advocating for him to get cut. He has a rookie contract. He's going to be here for many more years to come. But when you have an opportunity in the media because here's another thing. When people say things in the media, they hit back to the locker room. We talked about the Aaron Rodgers, Mike Williams thing of running the wrong route. And a lot of people criticize Aaron Rodgers for how he handled that, quote unquote, publicly. We roasted Zach Wilson for how he handled it, quote unquote, publicly. Corley is in the same boat as everyone else. Don't say he doesn't have media training, this, that, or the other. He's a player just like everybody else. And he was asked questions about this play that he just disregarded and he just threw aside. Accountability is key. Accountability of the public is key because that goes back to the locker room. If a guy says accountability, accountability, that's going to go back to the locker room. So yeah, this thing really just angered me, quite frankly. It absolutely angered me. I just listened to it because I'm like, oh, Corley spoke. Oh, this is the first time he's speaking since a play. Let's see what he had to say. And just hearing everything was just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. No remorse, no contrition, no nothing. He was just, oh well, I fumbled, but we won. Like, I thought because of, like, it was close, right? So he was heading into the end zone, kind of flipped it back. I said in the middle of the game, of course, I'm like pissed, as all of us are. But like eventually after the game or whatever, I think it was in the post game, actually, I said it. I'm like, I'm glad that he fumbled because like you can learn your lesson from a fumble. If he would have just gotten a touchdown, they review, they go, whew, he just made it in. We'd still go, wow, that was stupid. Wow, okay, we dodged a bullet, but that was stupid. I don't think he would have learned his lesson. That was my thought process at the time. Like him actually fumbling, actually costing his team, and actually hearing everyone else. Like, because the thing to me, so to go back to why this angers me so much, is Jeff Ulbrich called it unacceptable. Todd Downing called it unacceptable. Everyone else around him is like, oh my gosh, he can never do that again. Like, we're getting that kind of energy. And then from Malachi, it's like, whatever. Like, that's the thing that I guess is getting me. Everyone else is taking it very seriously. Malachi doesn't seem to be taking it seriously. We'll see again how he responds. Like he said, I can't wait to get the ball again. Like, there was almost like people are calling it a generational thing. I don't know if that's it, but this just, I'll get the ball again. Like, there's no question that Malachi Corley is going to get opportunities because of all the reasons I said. Does he deserve those opportunities? I don't think we should just be like ungrateful, not ungrateful. What is the word I'm looking for? Just assuming that Malachi Corley is assuming he's just going to get a ton of reps and opportunities. And I don't think you should be assuming it. When you make a mistake like that, you may not ever get those opportunities. Yes, I agree. Paul Corley should come out to the press conference with a new moron shirt on. I agree. He handled that press conference absolutely horribly. By the way, Jared B. gifting a membership, baby. We love to friggin' see it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. And Ryan Yeager, welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club. We appreciate you, pal. And shout out to Jared B. for gifting you that membership. The gift membership button is available for all of you. Feel free to jump in on that. Again, the free way to contribute to the show is by liking the video and hitting subscribe. We're now 39 members away from Phil getting his emoji. We already have the emoji. We just need the 39 members to unlock it because of the YouTube gods. Absolutely. And speaking of Phil, hopefully it's not a trend with Corley because that's ultimately where we're at. Despite how annoying it is and everything else, hopefully he bounces back because, like I said, he's not getting cut. And I'm not advocating for him to get cut, but hopefully he learns his lesson. It doesn't seem like he learned it based on the press conference. It doesn't seem like he's taken it to heart. It doesn't seem like he's realized the seriousness of it because the Jets won, so it didn't hit him a certain way. But I didn't want, obviously, because I'm a Jets fan, I want the Jets to win. But I didn't want the Jets to lose so it really hits him and it sends him in some sort of crazy spiral. I don't want it to affect him in that way. I just want to affect him like, wow, I can never do that again. That is unacceptable. That's kind of where I'm getting at. But I'm excited to see what he does because he should get a lot of opportunities. You have Garrett Wilson on one side. You have Devonta Adams on the other. You have Breece Hall, who's been terrific this year. And then you plug and play right there. Malachi Corley in the slot. You should get plenty of opportunities. Jason Weber, baby. He just punched his ticket into the Boy Green Coffee. See, we're seeing both ways right now. We're seeing both ways. You could gift memberships. Jared B just did that. Jason just said, you know what? F gifting. I'm going to punch my own ticket right here, right now. Jason Weber. Booyah! Punched in a member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. We appreciate you. We are now 38 members away from Phil, baby. Appreciate you, Jason, and welcome to the community. There's a Discord link there as well that you can join for our Boy Green community, where we all kind of huddle up there, which will be great. Hennessy Heisman. Let's get some other perspectives. Jets fans more upset over Corley than Reddick. Let's relax, people. I don't think so. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but the Hassan Reddick situation was super annoying, and I think I was pretty transparent about that. But I was upset at both Corley and Reddick. Now Reddick's back, and it's all groovy, baby, obviously, so all things can be smoothed over, but no, I don't know if I would say I'm more upset over Corley than Reddick. Reddick was super annoying for a lot of reasons. And because he was an idiot. I guess this moron shirt is going to get a lot of run. That's for sure. But we'll see. Allan asks, how are the Jets favorites on Sunday? I think on our sheet, we have the Cardinals as a favorite. Let me double check ESPN real quick. By the way, speaking of, I appreciate Allan bringing that up here. Let me see the latest line. Jets are a 1.5 favorite. Wow, that's pretty nice. But here's the other news. Since we're just randomly talking here, we'll open up the phone lines in a second. Folks, the Cincinnati Bengals lost last night. Now, some officiating here, there, or the other. I don't know. My glasses are a little foggy. Look pretty good to me. But regardless of my glasses and how they operate, the good news is that the Bengals lost. That is good for business for the New York Jets, because the Bengals are now 4-6 overall. They're 2-4 in AFC games. Now, here's how the playoffs works, folks. Let me give you a little lesson. Okay, come on over to the campfire. So, of course, overall records, who has the best records, that gets you in. But if there's tie-breaking situations, the first thing people look at is head-to-head. Okay, well, what's happening with head-to-head? Did the two teams play? For instance, Jets-Colts play this year. The first tiebreaker will be head-to-head. Okay, that's a pretty important game for the Jets. Jets-Broncos, head-to-head. Oh, Jets lost that one. Oh, Jets-Steelers, head-to-head. Jeez, they lost that one. Not good. So the Colts one is going to be very important. So number one is head-to-head. Have they played head-to-head? But there are some teams that are in the playoff mix that the Jets will not play. For instance, the Bengals. The Jets don't play the Bengals. Oh, no. Oh, geez. No head-to-head tiebreaker. So what's the next thing they go to? Conference record. How are they performing in the AFC? Interesting. So the Bengals are 4-6. Their record in AFC games after losing to the Ravens last night? 2-4. The Jets are 3-6. They have a chance to match Cincinnati's overall record, which would be 4-6 this weekend with a win. And while the Cardinals are not an AFC game, the Jets already have a better conference record than the Bengals right now at 3-4. So if the Jets and Bengals are tied with the same record, the Jets leapfrog the Bengals in the playoff standings. And then the Jets play the Colts next week. That gives them the potential head-to-head tiebreaker. The Colts this week play the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, for obvious reasons perhaps, are favored considerably against the Indianapolis Colts. So as we look at the playoff standings right now, the Jets still sit at the 10th hole position. But if they win against the Cardinals, they will jump to 9. If the Colts lose to the Buffalo Bills, then all of a sudden the Jets will be matched with them. And obviously, there are 7 teams that make the playoffs. The 7 right now are as follows. Chiefs, 8-0. Bills, 7-2. Steelers, 6-2. Ravens, 7-3. Texans, 6-3. Chargers, 5-3. Broncos, 5-4. So right now, the Broncos and all those other teams I just mentioned would make the playoffs. Just on the outside looking in are the Indianapolis Colts, Cincinnati Bengals, and the New York Jets. Again, the Bengals lost last night. They're 4-6. If the Jets beat them, they leapfrog them. Then they would love a Bills defeat of the Colts, which would drop them to 4-6. And then Jets play the Colts next week. 1 o'clock game, not Sunday Night Football. If they beat them, they leapfrog the Colts, and they're right there in the playoff mix, baby. And the Broncos got some tough games on the schedule. All of a sudden, we're getting deep, baby. We're getting deep with potential, with the big P word, the playoffs. Where the hell's Jim Mora? Playoffs. Oh, yeah, baby. The path is there. The path is there for the gosh darn New York Jets to get right back in this thing. Just when I thought they were out, they pulled me back in, baby. We're back in. We're back. Appreciate the 300 people that are watching right now. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. Appreciate you. This is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely friggin' beautiful. So let's friggin' go, baby. Let's see what we can stack. Let's see what we can stack, baby. The path is there. My Holy King says Bengals still dangerous. Never mind their record. Their record won't matter. If they're on the outside of the playoffs, they can be as dangerous as they want to be, being the 8th seed. Here, let's look. Let me do this before I open up the phone lines. I just want to look at it because I think it's important. Okay, so let's pull up the Broncos schedule. Let's pull up the Colts schedule. Let's pull up the Bengals schedule. And we all know the Jets schedule, but we'll pull up that one too. Let's go through. Okay, here are the Broncos right now. Okay, they're 5-4. Here are the games they have coming up in no particular order. Actually, it is in a very particular order. They play the Chiefs twice. Okay. They play the Bengals. So one of them's going to knock off each other. That helps. They play the Chargers. That's another team that's in front of the Jets. They play each other. That helps. They play the Colts. Like the Broncos are in the mix to knock off each other. Some of these teams play each other, which is good for the Jets because that means they all can't win. They play the Falcons. They play the Colts, Chargers, Bengals, Chiefs. So if we're looking at that, the Broncos are 5-4. They're not beating the Chiefs, so 5-5. They're not beating the Chiefs again, so 5-6. And then let's see where we go through in the mix there. So I like the Broncos schedule. That looks very favorable for the Jets. Let's look at the Colts. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. All right. The Colts got the Bills. They've got the Jets. They've got the Lions over the next 3 weeks. Good friggin' luck, Indy. That looks incredibly difficult. They got the Broncos, obviously, as we mentioned. And now they got some slap-around teams. They got Jacksonville, Tennessee, Giants, Patriots. We'll see what happens with some of those, but that front end of the schedule, very nice. Very nice. All right, let's look at the Bengals real quick. Okay. They got the Chargers, the Steelers, the Cowboys, Titans, Browns, Broncos, Steelers again. They got Steelers twice. I like that math, baby. And then we got the Jets, so we all know who they got. They got Cardinals, Indy. Next 2 weeks are absolutely massive. And they got Seattle, Miami, Jacksonville, Rams, Buffalo, Miami again. Let's see what happens. I like how that maths. I like how that maths. Absolutely. Let's friggin' go. It's all lining up quite beautifully for the New York Jets to make a gosh darn run, baby. Just when you thought it was over, we're back. We are absolutely back. All right, let's open up the phone lines, and you guys can call into the show. Again, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, you have to hop on over to youtube.com/boygreen25. You can call into the show. It'll be the pinned comment at the top here. Call into the show. Here we go. Let's put this right in there for y'all. Okay. All right. That is now officially the pinned message. And just for, shits and giggles, let's play the Hep song because it makes me feel better. Because, folks, remember, it's still the Super Bowl season with Boy Green.
Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily. Talking just football, man. Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets. Boy.
Oh, that gets me every time. Super Bowl season's gonna be great. I can see it now. Just look, guys, look out into the horizon, if you can, at the standings. Is that an 11-6 Jets team out there? Is that an 11-6 Jets team out there? Oh, it sure is, baby. Let's go. All right, let's head to the phone lines. That is, again, youtube.com/boygreen25. And my father joins us, Esden Zone. Okay.
Moron.
Okay, but
right.
By the way, that shirt is available in the Boy Green merch shop down below if you'd like the moron shirt. Shout out to Jared for the design suggestion, and it's out there for y'all to enjoy.
Yeah. Do you remember when your mom said you better stop doing that or you're going to go blind? Well, you didn't listen. Anyways,
okay.
I digress. Whatever I'm talking about there. So a few things, and then I'll let you go. So first of all, as someone that I know that a decade ago, which is about the age difference between you and Malachi Corley, by the way, a decade.
All right.
You, when guilty of infractions, and I will not go into them, We kind of got away from the Saturday morning shows talking about embarrassing stories about you, but
sure,
I won't go into them. But given evidence, like undisputable evidence, you would say ridiculous and stupid things all the time, your own self-justification. And so to beat up on Malachi Corley for what he said, what it really is an indictment of his head coach, his GM, and his teammates who should have pulled them aside. They have the experience. They are a team. They should have said, hey, man, you're going to be asked about it, right? You notice that on the sidelines, the players keep saying the same things. That's because the veterans have taught them. Like, we're going to try real hard. We did this as a team, right? So no one has taken him aside, and they should have, especially for something like that, which clearly he was going to get asked about, right? And you don't leave a 22-year-old, and if someday you may have employees that work for you. So you assume that they're going to make bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And so you, as a leader, as a supervisor, as a boss, head that off at the pass. So anybody that is in any way the wide receivers coach, the offensive coordinator, Hackett, whatever he's doing when he's not selling peanuts, someone should have pulled them aside, say, hey, man, be ready for this. And let's talk about what you might say. And you actually have that conversation. That's what adults do. That's what supervisors do. You don't let the 22-year-old moron figure out what he's going to say, because he's already justified to himself so he can move on, right? Because otherwise you blame yourself. Nobody in life wants to blame themselves for anything, right? So in lieu of blaming yourself, you come up with an excuse. And when asked, you give that excuse. So anyways, as you don't have any windows or glass left in your house that you're throwing rocks out of, calm down.
Okay, so let's go piece by piece. This sounds like you have a lot of takes, and wonderful. This is a wonderful platform for you to be able to express such conversation. Okay, so let's go through. Okay, I agree with your point. You know, I don't want to put your business out there in the universe, but you're a person that what you just described is something you have to do in your job. It's one of your varied tasks that's on your plate, where you have people working under you, and you have to have some of these conversations. Sometimes I'm sure. Now, there's not media press conferences, I imagine, in the same way there is for players, but still, there is accountability that is had in varied points in your job without getting into too many details there. So I agree that Corley should have been pulled aside and have that same, because we have a PR well, we're supposed to have a PR staff with the New York Jets, and when that happens, right? Hey, here's the question: what are you going to say? And then you probably shouldn't say that. That probably should have happened. But like, shouldn't there be? To your point, I one of your superpowers is this ability to kind of understand all these different things. And with Corley, which is interesting, is that you're right, that there is this rationalization so he can move on with his life. But can't you live in both waters? Maybe you're just going to point to the fact that he's 22, but like, that's the thing that gets me is, yes, I want him to move on. I don't want him to go to the graveyard on a week-to-week basis and go like give his flowers to the fumble that he had. But I want it to matter and say, like, look, this was so bad. I'm never going to forget this. It's going to be in the back of my head. Not that it's going to affect me, but I'm going to remember. So every time I'm going to Barry Sanders this ball, and hopefully, blessed be he, I score a lot of touchdowns in my career. He's talking about 200 plus from Pee Wee all the way to now, and hopefully every single one for the future. So it never happens again. Guaranteed. You hand the ball and Barry Sanders it to the ref. But like, he showed zero remorse, like that. And people, again, if you want, and if people want to listen to full presser, please do. It's 3 minutes and change.
Yeah, and I've read I've listened to the whole thing. What I'm saying is, it's not just that you coach them up on what to say at the presser, which you do, but that's one part of like a 6-part plan. And what I'm saying is, you should have pulled him aside. You should have talked to him about it. You should have mentored him through.
But what about common sense? Like, can't there be a modicum? All I'm asking for is a morsel of like, I really shouldn't have.
He's a 22-year-old. I could list the stupid shit that you've said.
But I'm not a multimillionaire pass catcher.
That after a 1-game winning streak, you're talking about the playoffs when it was before that it was over. You say stupid things all the time.
Malachi Corley
on media
is held to a different level than me. And he should be. He's a multi-millionaire pass catcher. Of course he should be held to a different standard. People in life are held to different standards based on their position of power. Cough, cough, anything this week. People on certain things that happen, they're going to be held to different standards than Joe Blow down the street. There's a
weird you
pyramid.
said Joe?
Yeah, there's a pyramid, okay? There's a pyramid. And Malachi Corley is high on the pyramid. That's what happens when you get drafted into the NFL and you're a professional athlete.
Yeah. So
the Jets could have coached him up in a few ways.
But I'll just say that it's a clear failure on his part and on the Jets leadership part and on his teammates' part. Right? But yes, obviously.
But more so on him.
And how is he? No. Yeah, calm down. Right? Just because you can interject and say things doesn't make you right. I hope you know that this week also proved that, because you can say a bunch of things, but that doesn't make it so, and that doesn't produce results. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, anyways,
so have you already bought your Malachi Corley jersey? Are you caping for him?
I've loved the kid since we drafted him. I thought he was a steal. I was glad that we rounded up and got him, and obviously the Jets have faith in him more than they had earlier in the year. And he's been underutilized. So he absolutely has to take responsibility for what happened. He also could have done better at the press conference. But the press conference, you can't assume that he's going to say the right thing. And there's other people that should have helped him out there. And there's people that their only job is to make sure that you're the press correspondent for the Jets, right? There's a whole team. I'm sure it's not one person, right? And you should have pulled him aside before he said stupid things. Now, you can't control what whatever his name is, the jackass from Green Bay says, because he's got his own radio show. But a rookie, you can control that better.
I see. Well, like I said, I'm looking forward to your adopted son and the family reunion. Me, Woody, and Corley apparently all hanging out as you cape so hard for this young man. It seems weird. It seems like weird energy. And people are asking for a moron emoji. I will put that on the list here. I appreciate that. That's a good idea, because I'll put a big fat picture of Malachi Corley on there. Very nice. We'll give that to the
Your hatred is, it's weird who you pick. So it's weird who you forgive without a second thought. And then who you actually got to look at the beginning of the promo where you get all excited when Aaron Rodgers. Are you excited as today as you were when that happened? That's my question for you today.
What's that? What excited about what? I don't understand.
So in the intro for the show, which is phenomenal intro to the show. Sure. When they announced it, Aaron Rodgers saying he's going to play football and play for the Jets, and you're like,
intended, yeah, right, yeah. So shout out to Gator, by the way, for the intro.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I would say, in hindsight, do you think you're that excited today about that decision by the Jets?
Absolutely, yes. He's a Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterback.
You've nailed it, moron. So, love you, buddy. Can't wait to see you and talk to you tomorrow morning.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. It'll be nice. And we'll invite your other son, Malachi Corley, there. I'm sure he's got nothing going on. Anyway. All right. Skipped his media training. Anywho, thanks, Pop. We'll see you. There he is. Okay. And it seems like some people are upset in the comment section. We're about to go back to the phone lines. About Boyd Green. Lay off on the kid. We're judging him on one media opportunity. Well, he doesn't speak to the media every day. What other opportunity am I supposed to judge him on? He makes a mistake, and his first opportunity to address the mistake, I'm like, okay, let's hear what the kid has to say. And I didn't like what he had to say. I thought that he just, again, I don't want to beat a dead horse here. I just thought that he came off a little entitled. I see Brandon L use that word. I'll use it. Entitled, that he's, of course, going to get more opportunities. He, even if you listen to the 3-minute presser, when talking about the Mike Williams being traded away to a different team, he's like, of course, I should get more opportunities with Mike God. Hopefully I do. Like, of course, that's what should happen. And I don't know. When you just look at how he handled it, I thought he handled it quite horribly. Again, how he handles it with his teammates is super important, obviously. But the media, to make it seem like it doesn't matter, people have been fired. Head coaches have been fired for handling media poorly. Do you guys remember? Here's a random example, just because I heard Stock Exchange about it. The Giants said Joe Judge was safe. They came out with a couple games to go and said Joe Judge is safe. And you want to know why he got fired? Of course, the performance on the field was terrible. Of course, the performance on the field was terrible. But he went on these weird rants during the presser at the podium. And they combined the weird podium rants with the poor results, and he got fired. So when some of us in the comment section are saying this media thing doesn't matter, it just appeases you, Paul. If he apologizes, you're looking for him to dive on the sword and say this, that, or the other. I just want everyone to be held to the same standard and to be accountable for their mistakes. When they make mistakes, be accountable. You throw an interception, you come out to the podium. Yeah, that was on me. I blew it. I threw the pick, or whatever the case is. Fumble in this particular case. And when it's so self-inflicted like this, like a pick, a lot of things have to happen. You got to throw the ball. The person's got to catch it. On Malachi Corley's case, it was all on him. There was no coaching. There was no nothing. So, like, the other thing that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way was, like, he's like, no coaching points here. Just got to extend the ball. Like, it just seems like he's brushing it off. And it was much more important than something that can be brushed off. But hey, different strokes, different folks. And I'm sure different people have different opinions, which, by the way, totally cool with here on the show. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got Hep here on the show. What's up, Hep?
Hey, Paul, I want to congratulate you on the baby.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was a little nervous about it. You seem a little down. You think you got a little postpartum going on here, or is it just the Jets doing you?
No. I couldn't be more excited about the New York Jets and, the Bengals losing last night and the Cardinals and everything. So, yeah, I guess it's just the week,
You think it's like being worn down, or the whole hype, and now it's here, and now it's like,
No, definitely not that, thankfully. I've heard other people go through that, and they give you all kinds of videos and paperwork and all kinds of things on that sort of thing. So, thankfully, I have none of those feelings or emotions. To be honest, I'm just going to break the fourth wall here, Hep. What I'm about to tell you is something that normally, you don't talk about here. My in-laws are sleeping in the other room. So this is the sole reason. I heard other people say, wow, Paul, your energy just seems lacking. Like, what's going on? Is it this, that, or the other? And I'm like, I'm just going to lay the baloney thin here.
Okay.
This studio, and when Boy Green is super famous and signing autographs and kissing babies, we're going to have our own studio room, which, by the way, I had before I had any children, but that's a different story for a different day, perhaps. So anywho, this studio is in the middle of my house. Thankfully, my fiance's parents, they're here helping out with our because we have two children. So it's very nice. We don't have a lot of people around. So anywho, they are like, if I had to spot it, like 15 feet that way in open space. So yeah. So when and it felt so weird when I was doing the Cardinals interview yesterday, because he heard the intro and he's like, oh man, love the energy. Like Walter, I think was the guy's name. He's like, yeah, the energy is. I'm like, yeah, the energy was great, Walter. And he's just I saw him a few times going like, what is this the same guy? Is somebody filling in here? So that's 100%. I'm just going to be honest. I was going to dance around it, but that's plain and simple. Yeah.
All right, Paul. I love you. I'm glad everything's great, bud.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks, Hep. Yes. So this is my second day back. I've really enjoyed doing the shows, guys. So this is great. Good conversation, but it's 100% the quietness from the family visiting. I'm just going to be honest. Just going to play it straight. That's absolutely what's happening. By the way, to the 375 people in the room, appreciate you guys. Make sure you like the video, hit subscribe, spread the gospel of Boy Green Daily. We appreciate you. But no, on the baby, I can't tell you guys enough. It's one of the most thrilling, exhilarating experiences of my life. Yesterday, I was holding my son and just looking at him as I'm just kind of holding him on the chair, and I'm just like, man, it just hits you. It's it's hard to describe for someone who doesn't have kids, but it's just unbelievable. So cool. So so I am absolutely over the moon about having two children. It is absolutely terrific, a beautiful experience. And the Jets, come on, baby, we're about to go on a run. Oh yeah. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got Indy Jets back on the show. What's up, Indy?
Good morning.
What's going on?
Hey, first of all, I just want to remind you that you know that every wide receiver is a diva. They're divas.
Yeah.
So you have to take that little diva gene that they have with a grain of salt.
Okay.
It's not like a quarterback. It's not like they're just different breeds of individuals.
Yeah.
So, if Corley makes this mistake and it doesn't affect, and it didn't affect the game,
correct,
we still won.
Yes.
I'm okay with him saying, you know what, it's not a coaching point, not going to happen again, move on. Now, if we'd have lost, I think he probably would have had a different tone out there.
Maybe.
And if the diva, if that's the diva that he is, and he turns out to be numbers like, I'm not saying he's going to be a Randy Moss or Ocho Cinco, anything like that. But if he turns out to be a level of a diva like that and still puts some relatively great numbers up, man, but go be a diva.
Exactly.
I do not give. I don't care. Go. He didn't cost us this game, and if he wins us 20 more games, go be a diva. Go smash the ball on the Cowboy star. I don't care. Yeah. I really don't care.
To be honest, yeah, real quick, I'm just going to say, because that's, to me, when Aaron Rodgers was traded to the Jets, before he was traded, and then there's like a few days before he did his presser, I had a lot of Packers people saying, hey, Paul, get ready. There's going to be a lot of drama. And I'm like, my first question was, is there going to be a lot of touchdowns? He's like, well, maybe. And I'm like, well, then I don't give a shit about the drama. I don't give a flying hoot. Let's score touchdowns. Let's see. And that's always been, that's the way of life. And it's easier to talk about in sports. The more you can do in touchdowns and everything, the longer your leash is to do all kinds of crazy shit. If you're player number 53 on the roster doing crazy shit, it's a little easier to overlook you and replace you and all those kind of things. So 1,000%.
What would be great is if, we get into the Super Bowl this year and the winning touchdown is Malachi Corley, and they can say, look, here was your first touchdown potentially, and you won us this game. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want that kind of diva mentality as a quarterback. I mean, that's not Aaron Rodgers. That's not, that's really not a quarterback mentality, but seems like every great wide receiver has some kind of mental issue like that. I mean, it is just what it is.
Yeah, no, which I appreciate. And hopefully, to your point, right, we can have this. I can already see it now, right? Malachi Corley on some game at some point this season as a jet sweep run into the end zone, scores a game-winning touchdown in the locker room. They give him the game ball and give him shit about, here, make sure you're holding on to it. Here it is.
Exactly.
And then it all kills it,
And we all sit and laugh about it and move on and look back at this presser and go, yep, Corley was right. It wasn't a big deal because he probably will never, ever do that again in his life. And we can sit back and laugh at it. And we've all done dumb things. As somebody mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Eloquently put. Yes.
So, yes, I'm not going to bash him too much. If we would have lost the game, I think we'd have a whole lot bigger issue here. And sure. I think you might have also seen a different presser too. The players would have, the players would have kind of got on him a little bit. The coaches, there would have been a whole lot of ramifications had we have lost that game because of that play.
Well, I'm glad we didn't. I think we're all on the same page there. And Corley himself and us fans and everything, I'm glad that, thankfully it didn't cost us. And it's kind of crazy it didn't, because if you think about all these games that we've lost, it's been 12 little mistakes of this, that, or the other, of a shitty place kicker, or this Aaron Rodgers pick six in the Vikings game on a guy that just happened to drop back. We missed all the tackles. So it's been one thing here or there. It's crazy that a touchdown being on the board or off the board because of this mistake did not cost them. Blessed be he, because that could have been much worse.
Yeah, so that's so un-Jet-like anyway, because typically a play like that would cost us a game.
Exactly.
I mean, we felt this. I mean, I felt this for 40 years, so I know, you know this. So for a play to go like that, you know what? I'm okay if he sweeps it under the rug a little bit. If it happens again, now we can come out back on the show and do a 3-hour show of just ripping him.
Yeah. Okay, I am not looking forward to that. So hopefully we don't have to do that. But if it has to happen, we will do what needs to.
Let's go. Let's lean the other way, and let him win us a game, and then we'll forget about it, laugh about it, and move on.
Amen. Indy, thanks for the call, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Beautiful. Phil, during the call, was saying Corley wasn't being a diva; he was being a moron. Which again, that's my thing. It was just kind of the delivery of it is what bothered me. So of course the play itself was dumb. And then how he handled it, I thought was dumb. But, well, again, it is what it is. It's a press conference. I didn't like it. This is a touchy-feely kind of subject where something happens. I'm like, I don't like that something. And then that's it. I'm not the owner of the Jets. That doesn't do anything. Corley is not, going to come to me. We're not going to chat about it. But in its simplest form, Corley did something. I said I didn't like it, and now we all basically get to move on. I mean, all you guys can call in if you have takes on it. Feel free. I'm not trying to shut down any of those conversations, but yeah, it is what it is. So hopefully, for Corley's sake, he has this game-changing play later, and we can all goof around and joke about it. If the Jets make the playoffs and all these other wonderful things, that game didn't cost them, thankfully. All these other conversations. Hopefully, this can all be something we laugh about later. But in the moment, very serious mistake. And then the presser immediately after, which is the first time that he spoke to the media. Didn't love it. Anywho, let's go back to the phone lines. We got Batshaw here on the program. What's up, brother?
What's up, Paul?
Whoa, aviators. Okay. Batshaw, what have I missed over the last couple of days?
Oh, my uncles gave me this. They sold their salon.
Oh, it's a good look.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Superstar, what's on your mind?
Oh, well, I wanted to tell you I'm glad you're back.
Yeah.
I didn't get a call in yesterday, but I wanted to tell you we missed you. It's been a rough week without you.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I said, it was weird for me. I heard for the people, because every day I'd get, I saw Hep, he was going over the last video, said, where the hell did Boy Green go? And I was getting a couple of messages like, Boy Green, are you alive? Did you die? Did a meteor hit you, for God's sakes? Like you just kind of fell off the face of the earth. So no, to be honest, I already appreciated the show. Every day I kind of wake up and go, man, this is so cool. But to when they say that, you don't really know what you have until you're kind of gone from it. So missing it of literally doing it, looking at the time, it's 7:30. I should be on right now. What am I doing? I should be on. That whole thing going on. That sort of ate away at me. So I'm glad that we're back. Some normalcy,
Well, and congrats on PE3, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yes, sir. Future New York Jet, baby.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of Hep, it's kind of weird, but as much as I watched the show the other day, that song that he sings, I was actually, me and my wife were arguing about something, and just for some random reason in the background of my mind, I just start singing Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, and my wife's gotten to where she sings it too.
Yes, excellent. That's great work by Hep. On the next intro, on the next intro, we're probably going to have to work that in. How could you not work that into the the main shish kebab? That would be wonderful.
Exactly. Well, my question today is, do I start Aaron Rodgers this week on my other fantasy team? Who's
your other choice?
Caleb Williams against New England.
Caleb Williams has had 2 straight weeks of single-digit fantasy points. New England's defense has been decent, but there have been moments. Obviously, look at Aaron Rodgers the first time. Out of those 2 choices, I'd probably go Aaron Rodgers, to be honest with you. Like I said, Caleb having 2 single-digit weeks in a row, that's brutal at the quarterback position. The Arizona defense, to be honest, how do I put this lightly? They suck. They stink. Now, they had a really good week this past week against Caleb, which we just talked about him not having a really decent week. They added a new pass rusher, but as we all know, because the Jets have added multiple guys in the middle of seasons, all season long, I don't think Baron Browning, the talented pass rusher they just acquired, is going to play much at all in the conversation. So I don't think you have to worry about that. So, no, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a lot of opportunities, long story short.
All right. Well, I was just kind of curious. I didn't know if maybe I needed to go get somebody off the free agency wire. Of course, he was open, so I picked him up, and I thought Arizona's defense wasn't that, great.
Yeah.
But then when he was kind of a free agent, I thought maybe there's something I don't know, but I don't really keep up with Arizona that much. So that's what kind of had me curious. But
yeah, they got a couple of individual good players, like Budda Baker's a really good safety, or this guy, or this guy, or this guy. So you could go through, but as a team, as a unit, their numbers are not great from that perspective. So,
all right, man. Well, I appreciate you taking my call.
Sure.
Congrats on the kiddo, and
thank you.
We'll see you next time, bud.
All right, can't wait. Batshaw, thank you for the call, brother. Appreciate it. The Aviators, okay. Batshaw's gone Hollywood, folks. That's what's happening here. He is gone Hollywood, which we love to see. Beautiful. Yeah, I have so some of the numbers just to back up what I was telling Batshaw here about like, oh boy, what does the defense look like? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the Cardinals have the 8th worst defense in yards allowed this season. That's 361.4 yards per game. That's total yards. That's not rushing or passing. That's just a total there from that perspective. Let's go to passing yards allowed. Where are they at on that list? And they're also in the top 10. They've allowed over 2,000 yards passing this season. That is top 10 most in the NFL. So not doing great from that perspective. Let's see over on rushing real quick on Arizona. Oh boy, they're just outside the top 10 here. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just kidding. They're not outside the top 10. They're inside the top 10. So they've allowed top 10 most passing yards this season and top 10 most rushing yards this season. They've allowed 1,100 yards on the ground. Let's go to points per game just for giggles since we're all here together in this beautiful family. Let's see here. What are we at on points per game for Arizona? And they are outside the top 10. They are allowing 24 points per game per season. So long story short, a lot of hoopla there, but the Cardinals, not great. Not great. But like I said, they can run the ball like nobody's business. They got Marvin Harrison Jr., they got Kyler Murray. They got a lot of talented pieces. We should not overlook this Cardinals team at all. The Jets shouldn't be overlooking anybody. But boy, some of those analytics on defense look like trash. Back to the phone lines. Let's go to our main man, Mac, with a side of B.
Hey, Paul, welcome back, man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Thanks, man. Congratulations on the sex.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be honest. It was great. It was great. Absolutely great.
Yeah. Now, as far as Malachi Corley, I'm as much that we all should be pissed at him. Let's hopefully he can learn from this.
Of course.
And, hopefully, it's just like he just got caught up in the moment. First touchdown. Maybe. But yeah,
blip on the radar, hopefully. But again, it still doesn't make sense. Because wouldn't you said it's his first touchdown, which it should have been. Wouldn't you want to hold on to that ball? Wouldn't you want to frame that ball? Or wouldn't you want to put that in a box?
I guess he got. Yeah, I guess he. I guess when he went on his way to the end zone, he just got something like flashing inside his head or something like that, and
I guess
he forgot he had the ball. I don't know, but I think you have to keep using them because you don't want to shoot down his confidence.
Of course, that's true.
And the kid, and we seen the kid has talent.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that play call. Nice play call. For that touchdown, you just just don't drop the ball next time.
That's it. It was great play design, great call in the game, everything. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, as far as this Cardinals game, if the Jets are going to win this game, I think it has to be on offense. I think the offense has to get to 30 to win this game. Between 25 and 30, but I think 30 is a fair number to get. I don't think you should expect the defense to really hold this offense down. We all know Kyle Murray is a demon out there with his athletic ability. His athleticism just scare me. And they do got weapons. Marvin Harrison Jr., who seems like who's playing well, and the dude got that running back, James Conner, who's a bowling ball. So,
and you're right. Yeah, they're averaging 23 points per game here, BMAC. Offensively, Arizona's averaging 23 points per game. So yeah, that's a good point. 30 seems to be a good number.
Oh, what about the Jets? How many points?
Yeah, that's a good point. Where are the Jets? 19 points a game is not great. Not great. Yeah. That's
it was better than last year. 30 seconds.
That's true. It's true. They're eighth worst in football, so significant improvement. That's true. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's nowhere to go up. But I do think this weekend they have to score. They have to get the 30. I do think Rodgers is going to have a fantastic game this weekend. I think he plays his best against the Cardinals, and he plays well.
Some of those fun moments, right? Playoffs, Hail Mary.
Yeah, man. He plays well in that stadium. It's just a matter of the guys helping them and picking up their game. Catching the ball. The details, the pennies got to stop. So hopefully this extra rest. I know people are kind of worried about the Jets having extra rest, but hopefully they can come out, man, and hopefully they can start fast and not start sluggish like they did last week in the first half. Hopefully they can come out that first quarter, boom, score force, get a stop, get the ball back, boom, it's 14-0 Jets, and make the Cardinals play on their heels. But there's one thing too, quickly too, before I go.
Yeah, of course.
I'm so sick of hearing this stat, man, about Rodgers. It's been 30-something games and 30-something
300-yard passing,
300 yards.
Yeah,
like I wish people would shut. Like, why do people do that? Like, it's just like they just like that's like okay. Like, what do that prove?
Well, it's like people love the number or the game for Sauce. And now I'm losing track of the number because we keep getting further and further past it. But Sauce is like 33 or 34 games without a pick. Again, it's just kind of a number. Now, 300 yards, if you look at all the NFL passing numbers this season, have been incredibly hard to reach. A few players have. Joe Burrow's reached it several times this season, but a lot of people have struggled to get to 300. We haven't had these prolific passing performances on a whole for the season. There's been 1%ers doing it, but on the season there hasn't. But no, I mean, that's a common number to evaluate quarterbacks over the course of the last 25, 30 years of those 300-yard games. That's been a line in the sand. So I don't mind people bringing it up. It sucks because Rodgers been close a few times and wins, and then they've just taken the pedal off. So he coulda, shoulda, woulda had it, but it's on Rodgers to eventually check it off, and I'm sure he will.
But does that keep him from being in the first ballot Hall of Fame though?
No, of course not. And more so, it's not an indictment. It's saying something about his age, right? That's not like a career stat. That's just how you've been playing recently stat over the last handful of years. And obviously, you got to factor in one of those years is lost completely to injury. But eventually he's going to get the number, and then people will shut up about it. Same thing about Sauce. Get a pick, and people will shut up about it. But you have to get the pick. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really just wish people. Yeah, I mean, again, people are not going to shut up. They're going to bring that up. But I just, I don't know. Like, if like when did 300 yards become so like valuable? You know what I mean? Like should be winning games and touchdowns and points.
Well, I mean, I'd have to check that. To your point, what is the record of quarterbacks have thrown 300 plus yards? I mean, think about it. Burrow threw 400 something last night and lost. So it doesn't guarantee victory, but in terms of sex appeal, quarterback numbers, that's a common one people talk about.
All right. Well, he's still going to a Hall of Fame, so I don't think he cares about that.
Okay.
Am I wrong for saying that?
No, yeah, I can confirm. Just in.
Yeah.
Yes, Aaron Rodgers going to the Hall of Fame. Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's it, Paul. Thank you.
I appreciate that, B-Mac. All right, now let's go to the starting power forward for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Allan joined us here on the show.
All I hope right now is when Aaron Rodgers retires, we don't have to hear from that bum anymore. No more. I'm done.
So give me your gut. When Aaron Rodgers eventually does retire, because that will happen at some point in his life, does B-Mac fade off into the distance? Is he pot committed? What is your prediction? I know what you want, but what's your prediction?
I want him gone. Oh my God! That's why when I watched the Lions bitch slap the Packers last week, it's extra enjoyment watching that shit. Okay, every time he talks, it's like scratching the blackboard when you're at school. Oh my God, no. As far as Malachi Corley is concerned, he is what's wrong with the youth in this country. No accountability. I assume he took a beating from his teammates and his coaching staff throughout the week. A lot of extra errands a lot of extra runs to maybe Starbucks, maybe got a phone call at 3 a.m. to go run an errand. You never know.
Okay. I hope so. I hope we get that.
I mean, that presser was just laughable, but I mean, I don't expect anything else. First of all, congratulations on baby number 2. My advice is go back to the hospital and snip it, maybe. That would be good.
Yes.
No more. 2's enough. 2's enough. Trust me.
Yeah.
Don't follow the Johnny Boy method and go to the hospital.
No Cromartie action.
Yeah. No more. No more.
All right.
As far as this Sunday, I do laugh when you look at other teams and compare scores and hope. The Jets are 3-6. I mean, come on, you got to win some games, please, before you go compare and contrast.
Mm-hmm.
My thought is I think their season ends Sunday. It's a tough matchup. I do laugh when the Jets continue to be favorites against teams like this. It's just comical. I understand Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer, but it's not a good matchup at all this week, especially against an elusive quarterback and against a high-powered offense who could run the ball with 3 different running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I do worry about the long layoff because, as you know, the Jets on long layoffs usually take naps in the first half and are down 24-7, and then they decide to wake up in the second half, and then they lose by like 7 at the end. Again, first to 34 wins this week, in my opinion. I think it's a high-scoring game. Again, as you said, I don't think Arizona really has a great offense, but there is some really tough matchups this weekend. Again, the McBride matchup is a tough one, especially if you have Quincy shadowing Murray. I don't like the Sherwood matchup against McBride at all. Hopefully Sauce Gardner isn't as handsy as he has been the whole year against Marvin Harrison. But to me, it's all about run defense. And I worry that this team really hasn't addressed that need over the last little while. I mean, James Conner is a tough running back, but they have 2 other running backs.
Oh, yeah.
And one final comment.
Sure.
I don't know if you addressed it because I did not watch yesterday's show.
Yeah.
I assume you addressed the Joe Douglas press conference.
No, actually, I did not. No, not much. Someone asked a question about it, or like a specific moment, but no, not overall. No.
He sounds like a guy who's ready to get out the door.
He looks like a guy. He looks disheveled the way he was talking. He was just like, I gotta be here. It was like he did this presser after a long 10-hour shift at the Walmart or something. Like, yeah, he had that energy.
He looks like a guy with absolutely no authority anymore. I mean, you think he wanted to fire Salah? I don't. You think he wanted to give in to Hassan Reddick? I don't. Do you think he wanted to give future capital for Devonta Adams? I don't. See, I believe he's ready to get out the door. I would not be surprised, and I said this before, I would not be surprised if quietly they both part ways before the end of the year and head into the offseason with an absolutely new regime. Again, as far as this Sunday is concerned, just get started fast. To me, you can't get behind the 8 ball against this team because they'll run you out of the building. So,
yeah, hopefully game script wise, again, everything sets up that this is not going to happen for all the reasons that you've already said. But that would be great to get up early and the Cardinals go, crap, they're probably going to run it no matter what, to be honest, based on their offensive identity, but that you have a better chance of them going, all right, let's start passing it, which again, hopefully suits up the pass rush. Before you go, Allan, actually,
go for it. B-Mac.
I hate your face.
B-Mac?
I hate your face. Your face is disgusting. It's stupid. First of all, let me tell you.
Disgusting
let
and
me say
stupid.
something. Let me say something.
Okay.
Let me say something.
My face is disgusting and stupid.
I'm trying to be
like
a
that.
nice young man. I
You're
try
not
to be
a
a nice young man, right?
Tiring.
All right. And I got you. I got Peter Castro. I got Dave Brigger. I got these old-headed, grumpy Jet fans always trying to come at my neck. What did I do to y'all? What did I do to y'all?
B-Mac, can you do me a favor? When Aaron Rodgers retires, are we gone? Are you gone?
Guess what? if the Lions win the Super Bowl, are you officially a Detroit Lions fan?
I'm rooting for them this year. There's what they are. What the Jets should be. Honestly, they are. I'm rooting for them, and I'm also rooting for them because I want you to suffer. I enjoy that part. But honestly, BMAC, if Aaron Rodgers retires, are we done with you?
No, I'm still here. I'm still here, baby. I'm still here representing the JTS. I'm still here representing the JTS, Paul.
Oh my God.
I can't stand your face. I can't stand your face. Not you, Paul. I'm talking to
Allan. I got you.
Allan. Can't stand your face, Allan. Allan, your face is disgusting. You look like an old peanut head. Man, old peanut head.
My face is disgusting, and I'm peanut head. I like it. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. That really, that was quite enjoyable.
God bless.
Paul, it's been a pleasure. I get to go see 2 games live this weekend. I get to see Army tomorrow.
Oh,
live.
Come on.
And I'm actually driving with a couple of friends to Houston Sunday night to see the Lions. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Okay, enjoy it, Allan. That's awesome. Thanks for calling in, buddy. We appreciate you. Wow. That was passion. That was passion. All right, back to the phone lines. NY Jetel joins us here on the show.
That was great. They used to call that great radio, Paul, back in the day. It was great YouTube content. Let's just say that. That's awesome. I'm actually calling about old Peanut Head. His call, the last caller that you had on. Yes. By the way, Allan, with all due respect, I know you love the Lions. You should have a Lions hat on every time you call, because everyone knew that the Lions would be good. And in fact, Paul, we had a debate on one of your shows, and I actually said Jared Goff was an elite quarterback. We had a debate over that. So he's way late on that one, Allan.
So am I. I said he wasn't. If I remember correctly, you said he was, and I said he wasn't. Right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let me see. Sorry, let's pull up Jared. No. I want to be held accountable. We just talked about that with Malachi Corley. I got to be a man of my word. If I'm getting him on accountability, we got to get him. What's Jared Goff's numbers? Oh my God, these are great. 75. That leads the league. I remember that. 75% completion percentage. Get the hell out of here. Unbelievable. 1,800 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, 4 picks. Like, come on, man. And he's had all these games, so that 75% completion percentage is insane. But if you guys have been watching these games, he has not been missing. Here, this is unbelievable. Here are his last 5 games. 82% completion percentage, 80%, 88%, 72%, and 100%. Against the Seahawks, he didn't have an incompletion. Yeah, he's elite. I apologize, Jared Goff and Jared Goff's family. I should. I can't believe I disrespected Jared Goff. He's a legend. I love Jared Goff.
Well, let me say this. Anyone who wants the offensive coordinator for the Lions as our coach, I would pump the brakes on that, because sorry to squash that dream, but
you don't think he's coming, or do you question him?
I question him because he has an elite quarterback and elite talent. Goff has some of the best talent in the league. I mean, he's risen his game up. Maybe coaching was part of that, but when you have the best players around you, you have the best defensive line. I mean, I would imagine if you're a good quarterback, you're gonna raise your level. That's your hope,
for sure.
So, but regarding old Peanut Head's call, though, have to refer back to him now. Sorry, Allan. I'll call you Allan. I'm not going to compare the Jets to the Bills, but I actually watched a lot of the Arizona Cardinal Bill game the first week, and the Bills were down 17-0 against the Cardinals, and they came back. And I'm not going to compare, Josh Allen and the Bills to the Jets, but this team is not, it's not the Kansas City Chiefs we're playing. Okay, we're playing a really average team, and you have Hassan Reddick. It might be close to being 100% game shape. He just had his preseason, correct? Malachi Corley had his mulligan. Okay, he had his mulligan, and then we have what I saw was some good semblance of an offensive line and a mobile Rodgers, and a mobile Rodgers with all this rest. I mean, I can see that guy actually scrambling to make yards when necessary. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and we got good news on the injury report. Again, it's not official good news, but the fact that a couple of our guys that were non-participants were limited participants. So John Simpson, getting coming back a little bit, that was good to see. And we're seeing some of the other guys too that are going to limited. Jake Hansen was still out, but we're seeing some of those.
Isn't Chuck Clark back? Or was he practicing?
I don't think so. I still think he's had a couple more games. So I'm going to have to remember when we put him on IR to see what. But he's got to be coming close as long as it's only the minimum. It has to be minimum 4, but hopefully, it's no more than the 4. But yeah, that'd be nice. Although I've loved Jalen Mills. He's been terrific this season.
Yeah, also, Paul, I mean, the Packers blew out. I mean, I'm not comparing teams to teams, but, the Cardinals have been blown out twice in their games. They've been blown out by the Packers, and who's the other one that blew them out? Washington, the Commanders.
They got blown out by the Commanders. They got blown out by who was the other team you just mentioned? Oh yeah, the Packers. Packers, Commanders, and they've blown out people. So it's been a wild season. They blew out the Rams 41-10. We're like, whoa, and then they've been blown out twice. So they're a very Jekyll and Hyde team. They're playing well. They've won 3 in a row, but they're very Jekyll and Hyde.
I would say the Chargers win is the most impressive because they seem to be a solid team. But, I mean, week to week, we're getting better, maybe, based on the second half. And I'll go with that. I mean, if we go back to what we've seen in some of these other games, then obviously we're not gonna be there. It's going to be a loss. Yeah. But if we could build on what we have, and we have this offensive line that I think a bunch of thrown together players who played great, if we can just have some cohesiveness, I don't see why we couldn't just come back and win another game, especially against them.
100%. Like I said, we have to respect all of these opponents. There's no doubt about it. But when you look at this, I think it's all doable for the New York Jets. When you're talking about runs and also the health, hopefully returning. So it makes me feel good.
Yeah, and Breece Hall too. I mean, Breece Hall to me, he looked a little more Breece-like. Like he looked like he stuck his head in there, and the team. The level of the team elevated, right? When they kind of everyone rose up together. That's the way I saw the second half. So anyway, Paul, appreciate it as always, and let's see what happens going forward.
Appreciate it. Thank you, NY Jets FL, for joining us real quick. Our number 1 Austrian Jet fan baby just gifted a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. You love to see it. And let's give a shout out to our new member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. 1 second, I just said here. King Blaze, welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club. We appreciate you, pal. Thank you very much. And let's update the banner. We are now 37 members away from Phil getting his emoji. We appreciate that. I see we just got a YouTube super chat in. Let me address that real quick. Hennessy Heisman, our boy. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Every time we get a super chat, we hear from my daughters, Orion Luna. Wow. We're going to need one for the son now for equal representation. That's important in parenting, not to have favoritism. Hennessy Heisman asked how many points we have to score to win on Sunday. So we had, who was it, B-Mac saying 30 points. The Cardinals average, 23 points per game. They allow, 23, 24 points per game. So their defense hasn't been great. I think we're going to need some offense, though, because the big question is, can we stop the run? We being the Jets. The Cardinals have 3 very capable guys. James Conner's the straw that stirs the drink. He's the main squeeze. You got the Amari Demicardo kid. He's super fast. You saw he had that long touchdown run at the end of the first half. And then Trey Benson, who our next caller knows a lot about that Trey Benson kid. He looks pretty gosh darn good, who we're going to get to, and why not get to him right here in just a second. But before that, I just wanted to give you guys the injury update. Here is the encouraging news, and here's the bad news. Jake Hansen hasn't practiced for the first 2 days this week. He's not looking good. CJ Mosley has not practiced that neck. That does not look good. Solomon Thomas has not practiced first 2 days. That doesn't look good. AVT still hasn't practiced, although it's both ankle and he also had a personal situation, so we have no idea if that's fully there yet. But the guys that elevated to limited participants, Michael Carter II, that's good news. Morgan Moses and John Simpson. So those are 2 of our 5 starting offensive linemen, and Simpson and Moses, that elevated to limited participants after not practicing the first day. That's a good sign. Not a guaranteed sign, but a good sign. Speaking of that Trey Benson guy, so real quick, how many points do we have to score? Let me answer your question on how to see. I think it's going to be 24 to 27 points. I think that's that's what we're going to need because we have to prove we can stop the run. I think that's going to be very important from that perspective. And as Jared B says, Boy Green needs diapers. He needs more members. Absolutely. Help me put some. It used to be bacon on the table. Now it's diapers on the table. It's an evolution. So make sure you guys join the Boy Green Conflict Club. You guys can do that in the YouTube description down below or gift channel memberships on YouTube. Speaking of our Trey Benson guy, let's get to Ricky New York Live.
Hey, how's it going, Paul? Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Not a problem. Benson's a good back. He can hurt you if given the opportunity. That being said, he kind of reminds me in a way of Dalvin Cook. You're going to get a bunch of runs that are, a couple of yards, some no gainers, but you keep feeding him the ball and eventually he's going to crack off that, 60, 70 yarder, eventually.
Another Florida State guy.
Yep. That being said, even though Connor is a good running back, he's also a guy that typically he ends up getting banged up and missing a little bit of time each year. And we're already to week 10. I would say it's probably just about time for that to catch up to him.
Mm-hmm.
As far as our matchup with Arizona, I mean, they've got some weapons on offense, but we've got a very good defense. But that one player on Arizona's defense that's really, really good. Well, that's right. They don't have one. So yeah, I'm not worried about it. It was interesting what Allan said about the Lions are what the Jets should be, because I compare Garrett with Amon-Ra St. Brown a lot.
Sure.
And as good as St. Brown has been, the first couple of games of the year, he wasn't really making a lot of noise. And then all of a sudden he had this game that was, well over 100 yards, but no touchdown, which actually I think he did have a touchdown that was called back because of penalty. But since then he's really been kind of catching fire, and Garrett has kind of taken a similar path. He had some big games, but didn't score. And now the touchdowns are coming too. So, listen, I was really encouraged by the last game that we played.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I agree with you. We scored 24 to 27 points, 28 points, and we should win this game. And that's the thing is, when we're only scoring 2 touchdowns a game, we're losing games. But our defense is good enough. We score 3 touchdowns a game, like, by the way, the last game that we played, and we win those games. So, it's just a matter of tacking on one more score per game. Could be all the difference in the world. And, for all the dummies out there that were going, Devonta's not going to help this team. Well, yeah, he did. The same ones that said, we don't need Reddick. Guess what? Yeah, we do. It made a lot of difference having those 2 guys out there.
Mm-hmm.
And Allan. Allan has decided
the
Lions are good. Really?
Yeah.
I wonder what other brainstorms he had. I bet Allan. I bet if we asked him, Allan would say, I have a feeling Trump's going to win the election.
There you go.
He always hits this with these after the fact things. Like he tells us who's good, like after they're already good.
I heard he likes the Chiefs. I don't know if you heard about that, Ricky. It's a kind of an under the radar team. It's kind of sneaking up on teams.
I knew about his Josh Allen man crush, and now I guess it's the Lions. Oh goodness. At any rate, me, I tend to, watch the guys and watch them develop, and it's more fun when you say, I think this guy's going to turn out good, like when he's still in college or when he's still a rookie, not not later on down the road. That's like a little kid that picks the team that's winning all the time. Like, I think I'm going to be a Patriots fan. Okay. At any rate, I got a good feeling about this game. I think we're going to go on a little bit of a run here, and I'm looking really, really forward to it.
Can't wait.
One last thing I wanted to say, I know that when your pops is on the show, you tend to take a little bit of friendly fire from Dad every so often.
That's true.
And he loves using that word moron.
Yeah, he does.
Really
a trademark.
puts behind it when he says it.
That
the next time he says that to you, I want you to say, you know what, Dad, I agree. My takes are more on than off. And thank you for recognizing that. And I really appreciate you pointing that out to everybody, especially with such enthusiasm. So
that's it. I like that
counter.
Reverse. The next one I'm thinking
counter
of,
for you.
the next one I'm thinking of, when he goes moron, I'm like, well, thank you, Dad. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Ba-boom. And throw that one back. I think that one might hit well. We'll see.
Right on. Well, you have a great day, Paul.
Thank you, Ricky. Appreciate the call, brother. Terrific. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. That was we've had some fun today, but I want to just address this real quick. Paul, no radio show this morning. There's absolutely a radio show. I am back at the radio station, which, speaking of, I gotta go. So sorry to all the callers that are waiting. We've had a lot of great callers the last couple of days. I will try to even put up the phone lines even earlier so I can make sure that I get to all of you guys in the future. But yes, there is a radio show. I actually have to head there right now. No Boy Green meets Woody, obviously, this week, because there's a lot going on with the baby. So apologize to all our Boy Green meets Woody fans. Woody will be with us on Sunday for the Game Day Boy Green Daily episode. And we'll try to see if it can either be next week or the week after, that we could get back to all of our normal afternoon radio show content. But we are back with all the Boy Green Daily stuff and also my radio show stuff as well. So yes, radio show. If you guys would like to continue to hear my thoughts, I'll be on the Score 1260. If you're not local here to New York, that is the score1260.com, or for free on the Score 1260 app. We'll be talking NFL and everything else. So make sure you guys tune in. God bless. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.